Gloria Chen never planned to be anyone's mother. At 43, the self-made tech millionaire had built her software company from nothing but a good idea and stubborn determination. Her days were filled with investor meetings and product launches, her nights with late emails and planning sessions. She lived in a beautiful glass and steel home overlooking the Pacific Ocean, with clean lines and expensive furniture that never got used. It was a perfect life for a single woman devoted to her career, organized, predictable, and entirely on her terms. That all changed on a rainy Tuesday in October. Gloria only volunteered at the Sunshine Community Center once a month, teaching a computer coding class for kids. It wasn't much, but it was her way of giving back to a community similar to the one she'd grown up in. The center served mainly low-income families, offering after-school programs, meals, and a safe place for children whose parents worked long hours. "Ms. Chen, did you hear about the fire?" asked Anthony, the center's director, when she arrived that afternoon. Gloria shook her head, setting down her laptop bag. "What fire?" "The Jackson house 3 blocks over. Happened last night. The grandmother didn't make it out." Anthony's voice dropped. She was raising 7 girls on her own. Gloria felt a pang of sadness but pushed it aside. Tragedy was an unfortunate reality in this neighborhood. She'd teach her class, make her donation at the end of the month, and continue with her life. That was how things worked. "The girls are here, actually," Anthony continued. "Social services is trying to figure out what to do with them, but there aren't many foster homes that can take 7 children at once." Gloria nodded politely, already thinking about her coding lesson. But as she turned toward her classroom, she caught sight of them huddled together in the small office across the hall. 7 girls with matching brown eyes and similar features. Clearly sisters, ranging from maybe 4 to 16. The oldest sat with perfect posture despite the dark circles under her eyes, her arm around the youngest who clutched a tattered stuffed rabbit. The middle girls whispered among themselves, occasionally glancing nervously at the social worker typing on her laptop. Gloria wasn't sure why she stopped walking. Something about the oldest girl's expression, determined, protective, and absolutely terrified, struck her hard. It was the same look Gloria had worn at 17 when her parents died, leaving her alone to figure out adult life overnight. "What will happen to them?" she asked Anthony. He sighed heavily. "Best case, they find a couple of foster homes willing to take 2 or 3 each. Worst case, they get split up across the city." "Split up?" The words felt wrong in her mouth. "They're sisters. Systems overloaded." "Ms. Chen, there just aren't enough homes." Gloria stood there, watching through the glass as the oldest girl, still just a child herself, checked her sisters' faces, wiped a tear from one's cheek, straightened another's collar, taking care of everything and everyone except herself. Without really understanding why, Gloria knocked on the office door. The next few weeks passed in a blur. Gloria had built her fortune by solving complex problems, and she approached this one the same way, with research, resources, and relentless follow-through. She hired the best family law attorney in the state. She contacted adoption agencies and child welfare experts. She read books and articles about trauma, grief, and child development. The system wasn't designed to be navigated quickly, but it wasn't designed to deal with someone like Gloria either, someone who could take time off work, who had connections with city officials who could write checks that made people pay attention, someone who refused to take no for an answer. "You understand this is permanent?" her attorney asked during their final meeting. "These aren't puppies you can return if it doesn't work out." Gloria nodded, signing her name to yet another form. "I understand. And you're sure you want to adopt all 7? The courts would understand if—" "All 7, Gloria cut him off. They stay together." The truth was, Gloria wasn't sure of anything. She'd never even had a houseplant, let alone children. Her 3-bedroom home wasn't built for a family of 8. Her schedule wasn't designed around school pickups and doctor appointments. Her life wasn't arranged to accommodate 7 grieving girls. But when she thought about those sisters being pulled apart, sent to different homes across the city, maybe never living together again, she couldn't bear it. Some pain you don't inflict on others, no matter how inconvenient the alternative might be. 6 weeks after the fire, Gloria drove to the temporary group home where the girls had been staying. She parked her sleek sports car and tried to calm her racing heart. "What am I doing?" she whispered to herself. "I don't know how to be a mother." But she got out anyway, smoothing her expensive blazer, and walked inside. They were waiting in the common room, 7 girls with suitcases and backpacks containing everything they owned in the world. The social worker had told Gloria their names and she'd practiced them like a presentation. Tiana, the oldest at 16. Deja, 14, 12-year-old twins Zoe and Nia, 9-year-old Leah, 7-year-old Kiana, and little Ivy, just 4. "Hello?" Gloria said, her confident business voice deserting her. "I'm Gloria." They stared back with identical expressions of caution. Gloria didn't blame them. They'd lost everything, their grandmother, their home, their sense of security. Why should they trust this stranger in designer shoes who suddenly wanted to be their mother? Tiana stepped forward, chin raised. "The social worker says you're rich." Gloria blinked, caught off guard by the directness. Yes, I suppose I am. And you live by yourself in a big house?" "Yes." "And you've never had kids before?" Gloria swallowed hard. "That's right." Tiana's eyes narrowed. "So why do you want us?" It was a fair question, one Gloria had been asking herself for weeks. The answer she'd given her friends, the few who hadn't thought she'd lost her mind, was about giving back, about social responsibility. The answer she'd given her therapist was about her own childhood, about the foster system she'd narrowly avoided when distant relatives reluctantly took her in. But standing there, facing these 7 girls whose lives had been shattered, only the truth would do. "I don't know if I do exactly," Gloria admitted. "I've never wanted to be a mother. I don't know the first thing about raising children. I'll probably make 1,000 mistakes." She took a deep breath. "But I do know that you belong together, and I have the means to make that happen, so maybe we can figure out the rest as we go." For a long moment, nobody moved. Then little Ivy stepped forward, clutching her rabbit. "Do you have a TV at your house?" The question was so unexpected that Gloria laughed, her real laugh, not the polite one she used at business functions. "Yes, I have a TV. Grandma didn't let us watch much TV," Ivy informed her solemnly. "Well, I don't know what the rules about TV should be," Gloria admitted. "But I'm willing to learn." A hint of a smile appeared on Deja's face. "You're going to need a bigger car." Gloria looked out at her 2-seater sports car and laughed again. "You're absolutely right. I guess that's our first problem to solve together." It wasn't a perfect moment. The girls didn't run into her arms like in some heartwarming movie. There were no promises that everything would be okay. But as they loaded their few belongings into the rental van Gloria had thought to bring, there was something new in the air. A fragile possibility that maybe, just maybe, they might become a family. Gloria had built her company by taking risks that others thought were crazy. As she helped 7 girls into a van, heading to a home that none of them were sure would work, she realized this was the biggest risk of all, and oddly enough, she wasn't scared anymore. For the first time in weeks, she felt sure she was doing exactly the right thing. The first morning in Gloria's house felt like a dream to everyone involved. Gloria woke at her usual 5:30 a.m., reached for her phone to check emails, and then froze when she heard unfamiliar sounds. A toilet flushing, quiet footsteps, whispered conversations. For one disorienting moment, she thought someone had broken in. Then reality rushed back. She had brought home 7 children yesterday. 7 children who now lived with her. Down the hall, the girls were having their own moments of confusion. Tiana had barely slept, keeping watch from the unfamiliar bed she shared with little Ivy. The room was bigger than any bedroom they'd had before, with soft carpet and a view of the ocean. It didn't feel real. "Is this our house now?" Ivy asked, her small voice cutting through the morning quiet. Tiana smoothed her sister's hair. "For now," she answered cautiously. Their lives had changed too many times recently for her to make promises. Gloria stood in her kitchen, staring blankly at her fancy coffee machine. She could run a tech company with hundreds of employees, but she had no idea what to feed 7 girls for breakfast. Did they like cereal, toast? Did the little one need help cutting her food? Her refrigerator held nothing but coffee creamer, a withering salad kit, and a bottle of champagne left over from a company celebration. "We need to go shopping," she announced when the girls cautiously made their way to the kitchen. The grocery store trip was Gloria's first real test as a guardian. Ivy wanted sugary cereal that made Gloria wince thinking about dental bills. The twins, Zoe and Nia, kept adding different snacks to the cart when Gloria wasn't looking. Deja, ever practical, pointed out they needed real food for actual meals. Kiana cried because Gloria wouldn't buy the same brand of peanut butter their grandmother had used. Leah quietly asked if they could afford all this food, a question that broke Gloria's heart, and Tiana watched it all with guarded eyes, clearly waiting for Gloria to lose her patience. Okay, new plan, Gloria finally said, abandoning the half-filled cart. Let's go have breakfast somewhere and then we'll make a proper shopping list. Together. The local diner wasn't fancy, but the waitress knew exactly how to handle a table full of children. She brought extra napkins, crayons for the younger ones, and didn't bat an eye when Ivy spilled her orange juice. Gloria, who usually dined at exclusive restaurants where reservations were made months in advance, found herself oddly comfortable in the noisy, sticky-tabled establishment. My grandma used to make us pancakes on Sundays, Leah said suddenly, carefully cutting her stack into perfect triangles. The table went quiet. It was the first time any of them had mentioned their grandmother since the move. Gloria set down her coffee cup. Was she a good cook? Tiana nodded, eyes on her plate. The best. She could make anything taste good even when we didn't have much. I'm terrible at cooking, Gloria admitted. I usually order in or eat at restaurants. You don't know how to cook? Zoe looked scandalized. Not really. I can make coffee and reheat leftovers. But you're a grown-up, Nia argued. Gloria smiled despite herself. Being a grown-up doesn't automatically make you good at cooking. We all have different skills. What are you good at then? Deja asked, genuine curiosity in her voice. Gloria thought about it. I'm good with computers, and numbers, and solving problems. Can you teach me about computers? Leah asked, surprising everyone. The quiet 9-year-old hadn't asked for anything since arriving. Of course I can, Gloria said, feeling an unexpected warmth spread through her chest. I'd love to. By the time they returned home with properly filled grocery bags, something had shifted. The house still felt strange and new, but slightly less like they were all just visiting. Gloria cleared out her home office to make another bedroom, ordering furniture for same-day delivery. The girls unpacked their few belongings, handling each item with care. Photo frames, books, the handmade quilts their grandmother had sewn. That night, Gloria tried to make dinner. The girls watched in horrified fascination as she burned the pasta and set off the smoke alarm. How do you burn water? Deja asked, fanning smoke away from the detector. Gloria looked at the blackened pot with genuine bewilderment. I got distracted by emails. After a moment of stunned silence, Tiana did something unexpected. She laughed. A real laugh, not the polite kind adults expect from children. Soon all the girls were giggling and even Gloria had to join in. Okay, pizza delivery it is, she said, reaching for her phone. I can cook, Tiana offered quietly when the laughter died down. Grandma taught me. Gloria hesitated. You don't have to do that. You're 16. You should be focused on school and friends, not taking care of everyone. I want to, Tiana insisted. Cooking makes me feel normal. Gloria recognized the look in the girl's eyes, the need to control something, anything, when your world has been turned upside down. All right, but I'm going to help and learn. That first month was the hardest. Gloria tried to work from home, setting up her laptop at the kitchen counter instead of returning to her office. But conference calls were interrupted by arguments over the television remote. Important emails went unfinished because someone needed help with homework. Her perfectly organized schedule fell apart in the face of 7 different school drop-offs, doctor appointments, and the endless logistics of childhood. The girls, meanwhile, tested boundaries daily. Deja stayed in the shower until all the hot water was gone. The twins snuck out to the pool without permission. Leah refused to speak during dinner. Kiana had nightmares that left her screaming in the middle of the night. And Ivy followed Gloria everywhere, a constant shadow with endless questions. When are we going back to our real house? She asked one afternoon, climbing onto Gloria's lap during an important video call. Gloria muted herself quickly. Your house was damaged in the fire, remember? This is your home now. But all our stuff is gone. I know, sweetheart. I'm sorry. Can we get new stuff? Gloria looked around at her minimalist living room. All clean lines and empty spaces, nothing like the cozy, cluttered home the girls had described. Yes, we can get new stuff. What kind of stuff would make this feel more like home? The question led to the first family shopping trip that didn't end in disaster. Gloria watched in wonder as her pristine house transformed. Colorful throw pillows appeared on her white couch. Children's books filled the empty shelves. Photos in bright frames covered an entire wall. New pictures of 7 sisters in their new home, smiling cautiously toward an uncertain future. The breaking point came 3 weeks in, when Gloria had to leave for an overnight business trip. She hired a recommended babysitter, left detailed instructions, and called every hour to check in. She rushed through her meetings, distracted by thoughts of what might be going wrong at home. When she returned the next evening, the house was suspiciously quiet. "Hello?" she called, dropping her briefcase by the door. No answer. Gloria found them in the backyard, huddled together on the patio furniture, whispering intently. They fell silent when they saw her. "What's going on?" she asked, heart pounding. "Where's Miss Patricia?" "We sent her home," Tiana said, standing up. "We need to talk." Gloria's stomach dropped. This was it. They wanted to leave. She'd failed at being whatever they needed. "We made a decision while you were gone," Tiana continued, looking unusually nervous. "We want to change our last name. To Chen, all of us." Gloria stared at her, speechless. "Only if you want," Tiana added quickly. "We just thought, since we're staying, we should have the same name. Like a real family. You want to be Chen's?" Gloria finally managed to say. 7 heads nodded solemnly. "But you hardly know me," Gloria said, her voice catching. "I'm not even sure I'm doing any of this right." Deja rolled her eyes in that particular teenage way. "Nobody does anything right all the time." "You came back," Zoe said simply. Gloria blinked. "Of course I came back. This is my home. Our home," Nia corrected. "You said so." Something in Gloria's chest expanded, pushing against her ribs with a sweet, unfamiliar ache. These girls, who had lost everything, were offering her something precious. Their trust, their hope, their willingness to try. "Chen," she said, testing how it sounded. "The Chen family. I'd be honored." That night they ordered Chinese takeout and ate it picnic style on the living room floor, all 8 of them squeezed together among the couch pillows. Gloria listened as the girls told stories about their grandmother, each memory a gift they were choosing to share. For the first time since they'd arrived, everyone went to bed without tears. The house wasn't quiet anymore. It wasn't organized or predictable or entirely on Gloria's terms. But as she turned out the lights and checked each bedroom one last time, a new habit she couldn't imagine living without, Gloria realized something important. It was finally starting to feel like home. 6 months into their new life together, the Chen household had found its rhythm. Gloria had converted her home gym into a bedroom for the twins, installed bookshelves in every room, and learned to cook 5 decent meals that nobody complained about. The calendar on the refrigerator was packed with basketball practices, dance classes, and doctor appointments. Gloria had hired an assistant specifically to manage her work schedule around the girls' needs. On the surface, things were working. But beneath the routine, tension simmered. "I need to see your homework before you go," Gloria said one morning as Tiana grabbed her backpack. Tiana, now approaching the end of her junior year, rolled her eyes. "I already did it. I'd still like to check it. Why?" "Don't you trust me?" Gloria took a deep breath. "It's not about trust. It's about making sure you're on track for college." "Maybe I don't want to go to college," Tiana shot back. The kitchen went silent. The younger girls, used to these morning battles, kept their heads down, quietly eating their cereal. "Of course you're going to college," Gloria said carefully. "We've talked about this." "No, you've talked about it." "You've never asked what I want." Gloria checked her watch. "We don't have time for this discussion now. Everyone's going to be late." "We never have time," Tiana muttered. But she handed over her math homework before stalking out to the car. That evening, Gloria sat at her desk reviewing company reports, but her mind kept wandering back to the morning's argument. She'd called her friend Patrice for advice during lunch. "You're expecting too much," Patrice had told her bluntly. "These kids have been through hell. They're still grieving." "It's been 6 months," Gloria had argued. 6 months is nothing when you've lost your only parent. "And you're pushing college applications already?" "The girl is 16. 17 next month," Gloria corrected. "And top schools have early admission deadlines." "I'm just trying to give her opportunities." Patrice had sighed. "Opportunities are great, but has anyone asked what she wants?" The question bothered Gloria all day. What did Tiana want? What did any of the girls want? Gloria had been so focused on providing stability, a nice home, good schools, proper meals, that she'd fallen into making decisions the way she did at work. efficiently, and without much discussion. A soft knock interrupted her thoughts. Deja stood in the doorway holding a stack of mail. "These came for you," the 14-year-old said, placing the envelopes on the desk. "And Ms. Wilson called about tomorrow's parent-teacher meeting." "Thank you," Gloria said, noticing the dark circles under Deja's eyes. "Are you feeling okay?" Deja shrugged. "Just tired. There's a lot of homework. You can skip your chores tonight if you need more time to study." "It's fine. I already helped Leah with her science project and got Kiana to take a bath." Deja turned to leave, but Gloria gently caught her arm. "You don't have to take care of everyone, you know. That's my job now." Deja gave her a look far too old for her years. Old habits. After Deja left, Gloria sat staring at the doorway. When had Deja become so responsible? Had she always been the family caretaker? Or was it a role she'd taken on since moving here? Gloria realized with a pang that she didn't know. There was so much about the girl's life before her that remained a mystery. Later that night, after checking that the younger ones were asleep, Gloria knocked on Tiana's door. She found the teenager sitting cross-legged on her bed, surrounded by photographs. "Can we talk?" Gloria asked. Tiana nodded, making space on the bed. Gloria sat down carefully, noticing that the photos were from before the fire. Pictures of the girls with their grandmother. "I'm sorry about this morning," Gloria started. "I shouldn't have pushed you about the homework." "It's okay," Tiana said quietly. "I shouldn't have snapped at you." Gloria looked at the photos spread across the bedspread. "Tell me about her." "Your grandmother?" Tiana picked up a picture of an elegant older woman, with the same warm brown eyes all the girls shared. "Grandma Rose, she raised us after Mom died. She worked 2 jobs most of my life, but she never complained. Not once." "She sounds amazing." "She was," Tiana agreed, a small smile playing at her lips. "She used to say that complaining was just wasting breath you could use for singing." Her smile faded. "She wanted me to go to college. She said Mom would have wanted that too." Gloria felt a wave of guilt. "I didn't know." "I know. I never told you." Tiana set the picture down. "I do want to go to college." Just what?" Tiana looked up, her eyes shining with unshed tears. "I can't leave them. Ivy, Kiana, Leah, they need me. Even the twins and Deja. I'm all they have left from before." "They have me too," Gloria said softly. "For how long?" Tiana challenged. "People don't stick around." "Not in our experience." The words stung, but Gloria understood the fear behind them. "I'm not going anywhere, Tiana. You're all stuck with me whether you like it or not." "You say that now, but what happens when it gets too hard? When Kiana keeps having nightmares, or when the twins fail another math test, or when Ivy has a meltdown in the grocery store? Then we deal with it," Gloria said firmly. "Together. That's what families do." Tiana looked away. "We're not really your family, though, are we? We're just some kids you felt sorry for." Gloria took a deep breath. "Is that what you think? That I took you in out of pity? Didn't you?" "No," Gloria said, surprised by the strength of her own conviction. "I took you in because you belong together, and I could make that happen. But you've become my family, Tiana, all of you. I can't imagine my life without the noise and the chaos and even the arguments." Tiana didn't look convinced, but she didn't argue further. Gloria realized that words alone wouldn't be enough. She would need to prove her commitment through actions day after day. The next week brought a new challenge. Gloria received a call from the twins' teacher asking her to come to school immediately. She found Zoe and Nia sitting outside the principal's office, eyes red from crying. "What happened?" she asked, kneeling in front of them. "Zoe punched Adam Thompson," Nia whispered. "He deserved it, though." "He said we weren't a real family," Zoe added, chin raised defiantly despite her tears. "He said you only adopted us to look good on TV and probably send us back when you get bored." Gloria felt a surge of protective anger. "That's not true. Not any of it." "We know," the twins said in unison. The principal was understanding but firm. Fighting wasn't tolerated, regardless of provocation. Gloria nodded in all the right places during the lecture, but her mind was elsewhere. How many other comments had the girls endured without telling her? How many whispers about the wealthy woman and her 7 adopted daughters? That evening, Gloria canceled her meetings and called a family dinner. All 8 of them squeezed around the table, eating the slightly burnt lasagna Gloria had attempted to make herself. "I want to talk about something important," she said when everyone had been served. "About our family. 7 pairs of eyes watched her cautiously. I know things haven't been perfect, Gloria continued. I've made plenty of mistakes these past months. I've probably focused too much on schedules and homework and not enough on what you all might be feeling. She took a deep breath. But I need you to know that it's not temporary for me. You're not a charity project or a phase I'm going through. Adam Thompson says, Zoe started. Adam Thompson doesn't know anything about us, Gloria interrupted gently. Neither do the people who stare at us in restaurants or ask nosy questions at the store. Only we get to decide what our family means. What does it mean? Little Ivy asked, tomato sauce smeared across her cheek. Gloria thought carefully before answering. It means we're in this together for good. It means we can fight and make mistakes and still know we belong to each other. It means no one gets left behind, ever. Even when we grow up, Leah asked quietly. Especially then, Gloria promised. This will always be your home, no matter how old you are or where life takes you. Later that night, after the dishes were done and the younger girls were in bed, Gloria found a college brochure on her desk. Stanford University, her alma mater. A yellow sticky note was attached in Tiana's handwriting. Maybe, if it's not too far away. It wasn't acceptance, not quite. But it was a beginning. A willingness to imagine a future beyond the present moment of grief and adjustment. Gloria smiled, running her finger over the note. Progress came in small steps, she was learning. In quiet conversations and burnt lasagna and college brochures left on desks. The next morning, Tiana handed over her homework without being asked. It's calculus, she warned. You might not understand it, Gloria raised an eyebrow. I did graduate from Stanford, you know. Yeah. Like 100 years ago, Tiana teased, the hint of a smile softening her words. 37 is not 100, Gloria protested. But she was smiling too, it wasn't perfect. There would be more arguments, more tears, more moments when the weight of everything they'd lost threatened to overwhelm them. But as Gloria watched Tiana help Ivy tie her shoes, Deja pack lunches for everyone, and the twins bickering over who got the front seat, she felt something unfamiliar and wonderful settle in her chest. Hope, not just for their future, but for her own. 2 years had passed since Gloria brought 7 sisters into her home. The glass house by the ocean no longer looked like a page from an architecture magazine. Colorful artwork covered the refrigerator. Backpacks and shoes cluttered the entryway. The white couch had long ago surrendered to grape juice stains and glitter glue. Gloria wouldn't have changed a thing. On a warm Saturday morning, she sat on the back patio with her laptop, half working and half watching the younger girls play in the yard. Ivy, now 6, was teaching Kiana how to cartwheel. Leah sat under a tree with a book, occasionally looking up to cheer for her sisters. Coffee? Tiana appeared beside her, holding out a steaming mug. Thanks, Gloria said, surprised. At 19, Tiana had grown into a poised young woman, though she still had moments of the defensive teenager Gloria had first met. You're up early for a weekend. Tiana shrugged, sitting in the chair next to Gloria's. College applications. I wanted to ask you something. Of course. The essay question asks about someone who influenced me. Tiana stared into her own coffee mug. I was thinking of writing about you. Gloria felt her breath catch.
Me? Is that okay?
It's more than okay. I'm honored. Gloria hesitated, then asked, what would you say? About my influence, I mean. Tiana looked out at her sisters playing in the yard. That you taught me it's possible to choose your family. That love isn't just something you're born into. It's something you build day by day. She gave a small smile. Also that you're terrible at braiding hair, but you keep trying anyway. Gloria laughed. Fair enough. I still can't get those French braids right. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the younger girls. So much had changed in 2 years. Tiana was heading to college soon. Stanford had sent a likely letter just last week. Deja had blossomed as the lead in the school play. The twins were star players on their basketball team. Leah had overcome her shyness to win the science fair. Kiana's nightmares had finally stopped, and little Ivy was thriving in first grade, bringing home gold stars and new friends. But the journey hadn't been easy. Do you remember that day at the community center? Gloria asked suddenly. When we first met? Tiana nodded. I was so scared. Not of you exactly. Just of everything changing again. I was terrified, Gloria admitted. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Do you regret it? Tiana asked, her voice carefully casual. Taking us in? Gloria turned to look directly at her oldest daughter, not for a single second. Best decision I ever made. Later that day, as Gloria drove to pick up Deja from play practice, her phone rang through the car speakers. It was Kevin, her company's vice president. "We need you in New York," he said without preamble. "The Westfield merger is falling apart. Their CEO is threatening to walk." Gloria frowned. "I can't, Kevin. The girls have their end-of-year activities this week. Deja's play opens on Thursday, and the twins have their championship game on Friday. Gloria, this is a billion-dollar deal. Surely the girls can understand." "Actually, they can't," Gloria cut him off. "And neither can I. I promised I'd be there." There was a long pause. "You've changed," Kevin finally said. "Yes," Gloria agreed. "I have." 2 years ago, she would have dropped everything for work. She would have boarded the corporate jet without a second thought, sent expensive gifts to make up for her absence, and convinced herself that providing financially was enough. But now she knew better. When she pulled up to the school, Deja was waiting with her drama teacher, Mr. Patterson. "Ms. Chen," he called, waving her over. "I wanted to catch you. Deja's performance as Juliet is truly remarkable. Has she mentioned she's been asked to apply to the summer theater program at the State University?" Gloria looked at Deja, who was studying her shoes intently. "No, she hasn't. Well, she should. It's highly competitive, but with her talent..." Mr. Patterson smiled at Deja. "I've already written my recommendation." In the car, Gloria waited for Deja to explain. When the teenager remained silent, she asked gently, "Why didn't you tell me about the summer program?" Deja shrugged. "It costs money, and someone would have to drive me there every day." "That's not a problem, Deja, you know that." "I know you'd pay for it," Deja said carefully, "but it's a lot to ask." Gloria pulled the car into their driveway but didn't turn off the engine. "Look at me," she said. Deja reluctantly met her eyes. "Nothing you need, nothing that helps you grow and thrive is too much to ask. Do you understand?" Deja nodded slowly. "Good. Now tell me about this program." As Deja began to talk, her usual reserve melting away in her excitement, Gloria realized something important. Despite 2 years together, despite legal adoption papers and shared holidays and countless everyday moments, the girls still sometimes held back, afraid to want too much, to need too deeply, to fully trust that this new life was really theirs. That night, after everyone was asleep, Gloria made a decision. She'd been playing it safe too, in her own way, going through the motions of motherhood without fully embracing what it meant to rebuild a family from scratch. It was time to do more. The next morning, she called an old friend from college who now worked as a family therapist. "I need help," Gloria admitted, something that had never come easily to her. Not just for the girls. For me too. For all of us. Dr. Lisa Reynolds began coming to the house once a week. At first, the girls were suspicious, particularly Tiana and Deja. But gradually, the sessions became a safe space where hard truths could be spoken. "I still miss Grandma every day," Kiana confessed during one session, tears streaming down her face. "Does that mean I don't love Gloria enough?" "I'm scared to go to college," Tiana admitted in another. "What if something happens while I'm gone? What if they need me? Sometimes I don't know how to be their mother," Gloria shared, her own eyes wet. "I never had good examples growing up." Slowly, painfully, they began to heal, not by forgetting the past, but by making space for both grief and joy, for both what was lost and what had been found. Gloria made other changes too. She cut her work hours permanently and turned down a promotion that would have required more travel. She reached out to other adoptive families, forming friendships with parents who understood the unique challenges they faced. Most importantly, she found Black women in her community, neighbors, teachers, her hairstylist Maria, who could guide her in caring for the girls in ways Gloria couldn't learn from books. "I don't know how to do their hair properly," Gloria had confessed to Maria early on, after another disastrous attempt at braiding. "I've watched videos, but I just can't get it right." "Bring them in," Maria had said without hesitation. "All of them. I'll teach you." Now, Saturday mornings often found them at Maria's salon, where Gloria learned not just about hair care, but about cultural traditions and experiences she wanted her daughters to hold on to. Maria introduced them to her own daughters, who became friends and mentors to the girls. Other women from the salon joined in, creating an extended family none of them had expected. "It takes a village," Maria often reminded Gloria when she tried to apologize for asking too many questions. That's not just a saying, it's the truth. 6 months into therapy, Dr. Reynolds suggested a special session. I want each of you to share one thing you're grateful for in this family, and one thing you still find difficult, she explained. They sat in a circle in the living room, passing a small stone to indicate whose turn it was to speak. When the stone reached Gloria, she took a deep breath. I'm grateful for second chances, she said, looking around at 7 faces that had become as familiar to her as her own. For the chance to be part of your lives, to watch you grow, to learn what really matters. She swallowed hard. The difficult part is feeling that I started too late, that I missed so much of who you were before me. Ivy, now a wise beyond her years 6-year-old, spoke up without waiting for the stone. But you're here for who we're becoming. That's more important, right? From the mouths of babes, Gloria thought, feeling her heart swell. That summer brought many changes. Tiana prepared for college with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Deja thrived in her theater program, coming home each day bursting with stories. The twins joined a community basketball league. Leah started a small garden in the backyard. Kiana took swimming lessons and overcame her fear of deep water. And Ivy lost her first tooth, proudly showing everyone the gap in her smile. Gloria watched it all with wonder. This noisy, messy, complicated family they'd built together wasn't what she'd imagined for her life. It was infinitely better. On the anniversary of the day she'd brought them home, Gloria gathered everyone for a special dinner. She'd cooked their grandmother's recipes, taught to her patiently by Tiana over many failed attempts. The table was set with candles and flowers, photo albums stacked nearby. Are we celebrating something? Zoe asked, filling water glasses. Gloria smiled. Just us. Just our family. As they ate, sharing memories and inside jokes that had developed over their time together, Gloria looked around the table at these 7 remarkable girls who had changed her life completely. They weren't perfect, none of them were. They still argued and tested boundaries and sometimes hurt each other's feelings. But they were learning together what it meant to be a family by choice as much as circumstance. And in that moment, Gloria knew with absolute certainty that she was exactly where she belonged. 10 years had passed since that rainy day when Gloria Chen first met 7 sisters at the Sunshine Community Center. The glass house by the ocean had transformed many times over, walls repainted to suit changing tastes, furniture replaced after inevitable wear, rooms repurposed as children grew into teenagers and then young adults. But the heart of the home remained the same. 8 people who had chosen each other, day after day through challenges and triumphs alike. Gloria stood in her kitchen, now 53, gray starting to streak her once black hair. She was preparing for a special dinner, checking the oven while glancing at her watch. Need help? Asked Leah, now 19 and home from her first year of college. She had grown into a thoughtful young woman with a passion for environmental science. Could you set the table for 8? Everyone should be here by 6, even Tiana? Leah asked, reaching for plates. I thought her flight might be delayed. She texted an hour ago. The plane landed on time. Leah grinned. I can't believe we'll all be together again. It's been, 2 years? Gloria nodded, feeling a familiar mixture of pride and nostalgia. Her children had scattered across the country, pursuing their dreams just as she'd always hoped they would. But the house felt emptier without their constant presence, their laughter and arguments and endless energy. The doorbell rang, and Ivy's voice called from the front door. We're here. At 16, Ivy was the baby no longer, a confident high school junior who played 3 instruments and captained the debate team. She bounded into the kitchen, followed by Kiana, who at 18 was preparing to start college in the fall. Something smells amazing, Kiana said, hugging Gloria tightly. More arrivals followed quickly. The twins, Zoe and Nia, now 22, came together as they always had, one completing the other's sentences, though their paths had diverged slightly in college. Deja arrived next, elegant at 24, having just landed her first major role in a regional theater production. And finally, Tiana, 29 now with her grandmother's warm eyes and Gloria's determined chin. She entered last, setting down her suitcase with a tired smile. Welcome home, Gloria said, wrapping her oldest daughter in a long embrace. Good to be home, Tiana replied, and meant it. Dinner was a joyful chaos of overlapping conversations, shared memories, and updates on lives in progress. Gloria mostly listened, taking in the women her daughters had become. Tiana was finishing her medical residency, specializing in pediatrics. Deja's acting career was taking off after years of small parts and waiting tables. The twins had started a youth basketball program in an underserved neighborhood similar to the one they'd grown up in. Leah was researching climate change solutions. Kiana had earned a full scholarship to study computer science, following in Gloria's tech footsteps. And Ivy, still finding her way, showed promise in everything she touched. "Remember when we couldn't all fit around this table?" Zoe asked, passing the salad. "Gloria had to add that weird folding section. Remember when Kiana wouldn't eat anything green?" Nia added. "Remember when Gloria tried to help with our math homework and got all the answers wrong?" Deja laughed. "I did not get all of them wrong," Gloria protested with a smile. "Just most of them." The conversation flowed easily. Years of shared history creating a shorthand only they understood. There were inside jokes and familiar teasing, but also genuine interest in each other's lives. They had grown into a family in every sense that mattered. After dinner, as they moved to the living room with dessert, Tiana cleared her throat nervously. "I have some news," she said. "I've been offered a position at Children's Hospital. It starts next month." "That's wonderful," Gloria exclaimed. "In Boston?" Tiana shook her head. "Here, I'm moving back home." A moment of surprised silence was broken by excited questions and congratulations. When the noise settled, Tiana continued. "There's more. I'm planning to foster a child." She looked directly at Gloria, a 12-year-old boy. "His name is David. He's been in 3 homes this year already." The room went quiet again, but this time with understanding. They all knew what it meant, what it felt like to be passed from place to place, to wonder if anyone would ever choose to keep you. "Are you sure you're ready?" Gloria asked gently. "Being a single parent is hard. I learned from the best," Tiana replied. "And I won't be doing it alone. I'll have all of you." She smiled at her sisters. The famous Chen family support system. Later, after everyone had moved to the patio to watch the sunset over the ocean, Gloria found herself alone in the kitchen with Tiana, washing dishes side by side just like they used to. "Tell me about David," Gloria said. Tiana's face softened. "He's smart, really smart, but his education has been interrupted so many times he's behind in school. He loves science fiction and basketball. He doesn't trust easily." She paused. "He reminds me of me before you." Gloria handed her a plate to dry. "I was terrified, you know. That first day when I brought all of you home, I had no idea what I was doing." "You figured it out," Tiana said. "We all did together." She set down the towel. "I found this when I was packing up my apartment." She pulled a folded paper from her pocket and handed it to Gloria. It was a yellowed newspaper clipping, dated about a year after the adoption. The headline read, "Tech CEO adopts 7 sisters. Keeps family together." There was a photo of all 8 of them, looking much younger and slightly uncomfortable in front of their house. "I forgot about this," Gloria said, studying their faces in the picture. "That reporter kept asking why I did it, as if there should be some complicated reason." "There wasn't though, was there?" Tiana asked. "It was simple." "The simplest decision I ever made," Gloria agreed. "The moment I saw all of you together, I knew you belonged with each other. Everything else, figuring out how to be a parent, learning what each of you needed, that was the hard part." "You made it look easy," Gloria laughed. "I definitely did not. I made 1,000 mistakes. But you kept showing up," Tiana said quietly. "That's what mattered." On the patio, they could see the others laughing together, silhouetted against the darkening sky. Deja was dramatically reenacting something from her latest play while the others collapsed in giggles. "Do you think I can do this?" Tiana asked, her voice betraying a rare vulnerability. "Be what David needs?" Gloria turned to her daughter, this remarkable woman who had grown from a frightened, defensive teenager into someone strong enough to offer another child the same chance she'd been given. "I know you can," Gloria said, "and when you doubt yourself, because you will, you'll have me. You'll have all of us." The next morning, Gloria woke early and found Ivy already in the kitchen making coffee. "Couldn't sleep?" Gloria asked. Ivy shrugged. "Too many people in the house. I'm not used to it anymore." They took their coffee to the patio, watching the sunrise in comfortable silence. Finally, Ivy spoke. "I don't really remember her anymore. Grandma Rose, I mean." Her voice was soft. "I try, but the memories keep fading. Sometimes I feel guilty about that." "You were only 4, Gloria reminded her. I know. But she raised us for years and you've only had us for 10, but somehow. Ivy looked down at her mug. Sometimes I wonder if I'm betraying her by loving you so much. By thinking of you as my real mom. Gloria felt her heart twist. Oh, Ivy, love doesn't work like that. It's not a limited resource you have to portion out carefully. Your grandmother would be happy that you found more love in your life, not less. You think so? I know so. She loved you enough to raise 7 girls on her own, to work multiple jobs, to give you everything she could. People who love like that don't get jealous of more love coming into your life. Ivy nodded slowly. When Tiana brings David home, do you think he'll feel like he belongs? Like we did? Not right away, Gloria said honestly. These things take time, but we'll all help make space for him. One by one, the others joined them on the patio, drawn by the smell of coffee and the comfort of morning quiet. They sat together, this family built from tragedy and chance and thousands of daily choices to stay, to try to love through the hard parts. In the afternoon, they gathered for a rare family photo before everyone dispersed again to their separate lives. As the photographer arranged them on the front steps of the house, Gloria found herself thinking about that newspaper clipping Tiana had shown her. 10 years ago, a reporter had tried to turn their story into something sensational. The wealthy woman who adopted 7 orphaned black girls. The headline had implied charity, perhaps even a savior complex. But the truth was both simpler and more profound. Everyone ready? The photographer called. On 3. Gloria looked at her daughters because that's what they truly were, her daughters in every way that mattered, and felt a deep, quiet joy. They had saved each other, all of them, from loneliness and grief, from lives half-lived, from the endless human fear that no one will ever truly see you or choose you or stay. 1, 2, 3. The camera flashed, capturing 8 women with different features but the same smile. The Chen family smile. Equal parts determination and hope. A family that existed because 10 years ago, Gloria had walked into a community center and recognized something she hadn't even known she was looking for. The chance to build something lasting and real from the broken pieces of multiple lives. Later, when the younger girls had gone shopping and the older ones were catching up in the living room, Gloria sat at her desk looking at the adoption papers she'd kept all these years. The official language seemed so inadequate to describe what had happened. The legal transfer of responsibility, the changing of names, the bureaucratic acknowledgement of their connection. The real story wasn't on those papers. It was written in Ivy's college essays and Kiana's computer code, in Leah's research papers and the twins' community work, in Deja's performances and Tiana's healing hands. It was written in the journey of 8 strangers who became, against all odds, a family, and soon that family would grow again with David's arrival. The circle would widen, making room for new stories, new growth, new love. Gloria smiled, thinking of something Tiana had said years ago, that love wasn't just something you're born into. It's something you build, day by day. They had built something beautiful.